all my best lectures or discourses are delivered only to a small group. She was telling me, she was just introducing me, she was telling, let us feel the presence and words of the Master. You can feel anything great only when the group is small. Only when the group is small, the intimate things can be transmitted. Only for political meetings you need a big gathering. But for spiritual meeting, the quantity never minds, only the quality with which people sit. Today I am supposed to speak meditation, preventive and curative. Let us understand few words. What is curative and what is preventive? Curative means, you all know, once the disease comes, then you try your best to cure it, to heal the body, to heal the mind. After the disease happening to your system. Preventive, you try to prevent the very disease happening to your body and mind. We all give too much of importance to cure. We give so much of our time, energy, not only the individuals, even society, even countries, they concentrate so much on the curative aspect, but we miss the preventive aspect. Every society, every religion, every country, they put all their effort, all their money, all their energy in curative measures. So many hospitals, so many other ways, healthcare center, these, that, so many things for curative. But I don't know why people are not putting so much of effort to prevent. There is a beautiful saying in Tantra. Actually, when you are healthy, you take your body for granted. You take your body for granted. When you are healthy, you don't even remember you have a body. And the Upanishad says, when you forget your boundary, that is what is health. There is a Taoist saying, when the shoe fits, leg is forgotten. When the belt fits, belly is forgotten. When the chain fits, neck is forgotten. So when the body fits, you forget the body. You forget the boundary. That is the reason we never take any steps to prevent. You remember your body, you remember your mind only when you have some disturbance. We don't remember our body, our mind, when we don't have any sickness. But no sickness is only one part of health. No sickness is not a totality of health. No sickness is just one part of health. Clinically all right is only one part of health. There is something more to the health than clinically all right. The positive well-being, feeling of positive well-being is what I call health. Health does not mean only the no diseaseness. No diseaseness is only the negative aspect of health. The positive well-being means that is the real health. I can say being healthy means feeling a well-being, a continuous positive attitude in the body and in the mind. It is not just no sickness. No sickness cannot be health. There are so many people clinically all right. but they are in the verge. Any moment they can fall sick, either physically or mentally. Meditation does a wonderful job in curative field and as well as the preventive field, to cure and to prevent. In both field, meditation does miracles. One of our devotee and is a doctor. He does a lot of research on this meditation, on this mind matter, mind over the matter, on this body, mind, spirit. In his research report, he says the power of mind over the matter, when you get angry, when you are in disturbed mood, you have 230% more possibility of getting heart attack. 230%. And some of his researches are amazing. I think shocking, not even amazing, it is shocking how much the mind plays over the body. Dale Carnegie says, whether Jesus saves or not, we don't know, but prayer saves. The very attitude or very prayer that saves. Physical level, of course, more than 80% of our diseases are from mind. It is created in the mind, expresses in the physical level. That is why these Kirlian photographers, they are able to find out any disease 6 months ahead of its happening in the body. Before the disease happens to your body, 6 months ago, 6 months earlier, they are able to find out through the Kirlian photographs. Photographs which catches your auric body, which catches your aura. They say every disease is first it happens in the mind, only then it expresses in the body. From the medical point of view, doctors always tell body is a biomechanism. But the spiritual point of view, almost all the mystics, they say body is the expression of inner self. It is the expression of energy. Mystics say it is the expression of energy. Doctors say it is a biomechanism. Whether you take it as a biomechanism or as an expression of energy, meditation does big help in the level of curing or in the level of preventing. Let me give you a few incidences, few solid proofs, then you will be able to understand. One lady who had a psoriasis for more than 20 years, she came to see me. I was speaking to her. She said that she has tried all the possible things to cure that psoriasis, but nothing worked. She was asking, what is the reason, what is happening? When I was speaking to her, I was able to understand. She has too much of self-condemnation. She condemns herself. She feels she is not beautiful. In some way she has got some low self-esteem and self-condemnation. I told her, stand in front of mirror every day and just 15 minutes shout and scream on yourself. Bring out all the negativity or the anger you have upon yourself. Feel as if you are going to burst. Feel as if you are going to jump out of your skin. Shout at yourself, scream. Shout the language which you don't understand. It's actually a technique from Sufism, Sufi mystics use this technique. I told her, shout at yourself. She told me, what is this, Swamiji? What are you telling? Already I am in a depressed mood, but you are telling me to shout at myself. I said, try, just try. I told her to practice for 21 days, but you will be surprised. It is very clearly recorded. Even medically, we have recorded it. 15th day, she has become totally alright. The psoriasis, which was there for 20 years, got healed in 15 days. And it never came back. It never came again. She was telling, Swamiji, you have done a big miracle. She was just praising me. I said, no, it's not a miracle. As long as you do not know the logic, you think things are miraculous. When you know the logic, you understand everything is just logic. The whole world is based on intelligence. That's why the Upanishad says, Prajnanam Brahma, means intelligence is existence. The whole existence is intelligence. But when you don't understand the logic, when you don't understand, when your intellect is not able to grasp the intelligence of the existence, you call it as miracle. Otherwise, there is no such thing as miracle exists on the existence. Either the whole existence is miraculous or nothing is miracle. Either everything is miracle or nothing is miracle. There is no such thing, something is miracle and something is ordinary. Of course, when you know the logic, everything is straight. There is one more case. Of course, I have given the example for healing, how it cures, how meditation cures. We have thousands and thousands of recorded testimonials and medical documents to prove even the cancers has been healed by these meditation techniques. There are so many meditation techniques. Even the cancers, from migraine to cancer, diseases getting cured. And there are so many researches which proves meditation can prevent lot of things happening to your body. Let me explain one or two things. How the mind works over the body, what major role it plays over the body. Small example, if you just remember some negative person, somebody who makes you feel uncomfortable or somebody who irritates you, just remember somebody and have few thoughts which creates anger in you. Immediately you can see pulse raising and BP increasing. Just few thoughts can create BP in you. Just few thoughts can put you off balance. When few thoughts can play such major role on you, continuously what you think is what we call mind. How much it will be playing on your life. The mind, the thoughts, it plays a major role on your body, of course, on your health. There are thousands and thousands of researches. If we have to cite, we can cite so many researches to prove how the mind works on the body. A simple thing you can try by yourself. Hold a pendulum and put your left hand under the pendulum. If your hands are free, the pendulum will run clockwise. If you just tense your hand, you will see the pendulum will go anti-clockwise. You may think it's a psychological effect. You hold the pendulum and close your eyes, let somebody else put their hand. If their hands are relaxed, you will see the pendulum will show clockwise. If their hands are tensed, you can do it by yourself and see. The pendulum will show anti-clockwise. Thoughts play a major role on the matter. Before the Einstein, matter and energy, they two are considered separate thing. But once the Einstein has declared that whatever exists is energy, the gap between the thought and the energy has disappeared. So the gap between the mind and the body has disappeared. According to me, we don't even have two things called body and mind. We have only one thing, body-mind. One end of this couch is body, the other end is mind. That's all. One end is body, the other end is mind. Expressed mind is body, an experienced body is mind. Body, which is experience, is mind. Mind, which is expression, is body. So there is no two things, body and mind separately. Body and mind are one and the same. Two ends of same thing. When it is inside, it is mind. When it is outside, it is body. Especially the psychosomatic diseases. Meditation can do miracles in preventing the psychosomatic diseases. The countries where the spiritual practices or meditation techniques are prevalent, in those countries you can see practically the depression medicines or psychiatric medicines are not at all used. In India, if you consider sleeping pill as a psychiatric tablet, even that is taken only less than 1% of population. Less than 1% of population takes any psychiatric medicines. And you will be surprised to see every village will have a small, you cannot even call it as a shrine, just under a tree, under a neem tree, under a banyan tree, under some old trees, they will have a small stone which is considered as God and worshipped. Even those small stones healing hundreds of people. You will see hundreds of people will gather to get healed, to prevent. You will, if you explore India, you can see miraculously people getting cured, sitting in front of a stone. You will be shocked. Sitting in front of a stone, how could people get healed? And how could people come out of their disease? Of course, the power is not in the stone, power is in the meditation technique, which they practice, which they are asked to practice when they go to a temple or when they go to pray. That's what Dale Carnegie says. Whether Jesus saves or not, we don't know, but prayer saves. The very prayer, the very meditation saves us. Especially the diseases related to mind and the stomach. These two are very closely related to meditation. Meditation can do miracles. Any disease related to mind, related to brain and related to the stomach. Because the navel is the place from where we start thinking. All the inner chattering starts only from the navel according to yoga. So when the navel, if the mind is put to rest, if the mind is allowed to relax, immediately the first effect will be on the navel. For example, if you receive some shocking news or disturbing message, the first blow will be for stomach only, you can see. First you will have stomach upset or vomiting feeling. Always the negativity affects, negativity disturbs the stomach. So the meditation, first work of the meditation is it heals the stomach. It makes you feel totally relaxed. Once this area is relaxed, you will see your whole body is relaxed. This is the main center which needs to be relaxed. If you observe, continuously we are holding it, especially the navel center. Continuously you will see there is a tension. There will be a tension. There will be a sort of holding feeling. When your mind relaxes, you will see the tremendous relaxation happening inside the navel center. Of course, even 10 minutes of meditation is equal to at least 4-5 hours of deep sleep. What can happen to you? How much of rejuvenation can happen to you in 4-5 hours of deep sleep can happen to you in the 10 minutes of meditation. Because meditation is conscious rest. In the sleep, your consciousness is missing. In the meditation, you have a deep awareness. Of course, sleep and the meditation, deep sleep and deep meditation, both are similar in a way because no thoughts. They are dissimilar because in meditation you have consciousness. Finally, I want to tell one word. How much you hear about all these things, unless you experience a glimpse of consciousness, actually we do not know what is health. Only when you experience a glimpse of consciousness, you understand how beautiful to live inside the body, how blissful to live inside the body. Because just living inside the body itself is a beautiful thing. Body is such a wonderful mechanism. Body is such a big gift. And your mind, of course, the best mechanism. If at all scientists are successful to create something equal to the mind, something like some computer equal to the mind, I do not know how much of space it may need. In such a small space, so much is happening, so silently. People come and tell me, Swamiji, my mind is creating too much of noise. I am not able to be silent. I have so much of inner chattering. Please give me a little peace. I tell them, the amount of work which your mind does, you do not know the amount of silence which it maintains. So much of work with so much of silence, you cannot imagine. If you do only 1/10 of the work which your mind does, you will create 10 times more noise. Such a big mechanism, this body and the mind. Living inside this body, living inside this mind itself is a miracle, itself is a joy. Only when you experience living inside this body itself is a joy, living with this mind itself is a bliss, only then you will understand really what I mean by the word health. Till that time, we will understand the word health only as a no diseaseness, only as a curative. But when you understand, when you have the glimpse of consciousness, then you will be able to realize what I mean by the word living in this body itself is bliss. When your body and mind is ease with each other, you are in heaven. When they are not ease with each other, when they are diseased with each other, you are in hell. Hell or heaven is not geographical, it is psychological. When both are at ease with each other, you will see you are feeling like heaven. The very body is Buddha. The very body is divine. The very body is heaven. When they don't feel ease with each other, you will see the very body is hell. And when you decide the body is hell, you create more and more disorders. You create more and more disturbances. So it becomes a vicious circle. Experience of consciousness, experience of meditation is the ultimate cure and ultimate technique to prevent not only the diseases, not only the ill health, the very cycle of birth and death. Of course, the very cycle of birth and death itself is a basic disease. The very cycle of birth and death happens because you forget you are the energy, you are the consciousness. The cycle of birth and death is the first disease. So experience of consciousness can cure the physical illness and the major ultimate illness, the idea, I am the body. It can cure the body and it can cure the idea, I am the body. Both has to be cured. Not only the body can be cured temporarily. But how long the body will be maintained? Maximum 100 years. But once the idea, I am the body, if it is cured, then you are liberated once for all from all the diseases. All the diseases are cured and prevented. Of course, ultimate, again I have to come to the ultimate point, experiencing the consciousness. Let you all work intensely towards experiencing consciousness, because your family is happened to you. You are not the family. Your name is given to you. You are not the name. The form is the abode where you live. It is not you. So when you understand exactly what is you, when you try to go a little deep and experience the consciousness, then you will see the basic diseases also can be cured and prevented. The ultimate disease, the idea, I am the body, also can be cured and prevented. So, let you work towards the spiritual experience, towards the glimpse of consciousness and experience the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you.